Andy Coleman. Welcome to Burgh Vivant, and as it is Halloween season, it's also Rocky Horror season. So you had the privilege of seeing Brisbane Management's production of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, first, I really enjoyed it. I got to see what was called the invited dress, and it was before all the technical elements were officially in place, but I feel like I really got an excellent production that evening. It's one of the most unique shows I've ever seen.
So is this the Broadway musical version, or is this just sort of a adaptation of the film to stage?
No, it's definitely the Broadway musical version. Really pulling it off in the very kind of raw form, but also fully produced. So
the interesting thing about this is that there's no exact location.
Correct.
How is this working?
It's unique, and without giving all the details away, it's a moving in the sense of you're actually moving, not necessarily emotionally moving. In some cases, it may be emotionally moving production where you show up at a secret location, which is actually, it's the Outer Skin in Munhall. It's a fetish wear type shop, and you are ushered through the shop by a young lady up into the holding area where you wait.
Which in a shop like that, holding may have a whole completely different
literally
meaning.
And figuratively, it's a holding area, and then you're eventually met by phantoms, cast members. There's some cocktails and things like that available pre-show, and then the ride kind of begins. You're immersed in the production.
Yeah, we probably should let them know that there is. Well, is there physical contact?
There potentially could be physical contact. When you show up and you check in, basically, the only question that you're really asked after your name is, would you like to be f***ed with or not f***ed with? And depending on your answer, you get a colored lanyard, and your lanyard will determine how in depth you will become in the production as you're guided by the phantoms.
Now, come on, they ask me that at the public theater all the time.
And honestly, it's really like you're in the scene. You're interacted with by the cast almost entirely. Young lovers on an evening drive, and they have car trouble, end up like you do when you have car trouble, look for a nearby house. This house happens to be a castle at night, and show up, and the folks that live there are unique, and they really take it from there. Really, it's
I always kind of felt that in some ways it was a little bit of a spoof of that, old chestnut horror movie, like the car breaks down, you end up at the home of somebody very peculiar, and then strange things, of course, ensue.
100%.
And they certainly do.
They certainly do. Yes.
And it's a musical yet.
And the whole thing, yes, it's sung almost entirely throughout. There's a good bit. There is a good bit of dialogue, but it's mainly just to kind of move in between songs. There's some language, but it's not over the top. It's not swearing for the sake of swearing. There's some adult content, a lot of it actually, but nothing that it's...
If I remember correctly, yes, there is.
Yes, so it's not necessarily for children, but some kids...
But if you would like to torture your kids, you please. But no, I think they do specify on the website that there's...
I think it's like an 18-plus thing, maybe over 16.
Is for somebody that, every Halloween and goes and sees the film in a theater, and, whenever they show Rocky Horror, you're encouraged to do certain things at certain times. This is like a dream come true.
Absolutely.
Because it sounds you're even able to be more immersed than you would just seeing it with a bunch of other people who are just as crazy as you are. There may actually be replay value in this. In other words, see it more than once,
100%.
because it'll be different every time.
It literally will be different.
How's that for a plug? So how's the ensemble? I mean, I think the cast in something like this has got to be nuts.
Oh, totally. It's absolutely an ensemble production with a few definite standout performances, but the cast is so into their character from pre-show. When you first show up, you're in the show. It's a walking tour gone horribly right. Kind of from the get-go, it's been something that I think that they've been wanting to produce and needed to find the right group of people and the right location to do it. And by piecing together essentially the all-star cast of local performers and musicians, there's a live band for most of the production. During some of the moving locations, they have some things on track. Literally, it's speakers and a sound guy going with you down on your adventures, and it's a technical masterpiece. And I've performed in productions of Rocky Horror.
Who are you?
I was Dr. Scott. So
Okay, very good.
you should see these legs in fishnets. Spoiler alert. Dr. Scott was.
Well, and you look lovely in them now.
Yeah, I figure. I mean,
it's a shame that our friends on camera, watching this at home, can't see. But
Understood.
but you pull them off lovely. Don't pull them off. And again, that location is a secret, right?
Right.
Okay, so there's lots to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Now I'm curious. I'm trying to guess because I'm thinking, Munhall, Homestead area. Are they in Lowe's movie theater? Are they in Costco? So by telling us that it's at this sex toy shop, was that revealing a secret to us?
Yes and no. I think it's pretty well known. I think by the time people have seen any of the publicity stills.
With the amount of time you've spent there in the past, well known to you, but let's not assume.
Right. I'm pretty much on muscle memory when it comes to getting to the outer skin. Yes, the callbacks or the shoutbacks, or whatever you call it, are definitely encouraged. They have lists of them provided at the box office if you don't know and you want to participate. And the cast is encouraged to respond and interact with you while you say them. And
Well, this could be a long show if they got a hold of me.
one, I wasn't terribly as familiar as some folks are.
Oh, so you've got to really know. You don't want to look.
You don't want to be that guy that yells Yahtzee or something. It's pretty impressive.
You're selling me here.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.